What's up, guys? Welcome back to Chiefs Chat. Today we're doing the Chiefs versus Jaguars game recap, divisional round victory. First playoff win for the Chiefs of the 2022-2023 NFL season. And there's going to be more to come, I promise. Okay, there's going to be more to come. Boom. Feeling great about this team, okay? And before we even get into what happened during this game, let's give this guy a huge round of applause, okay? This guy, Chad Henne. Got to be one of the best backup quarterbacks in the National Football League at this point. What a performance, okay? He's just a veteran, okay? He's just a guy who's going to walk in, When we need him the most, he's going to step up and he's going to perform. He's going to do what he needs to do, okay? This dude, he's behind the scenes, studying the playbook, understands every single play, okay? And it's those little things that you don't always think about that really makes a difference when it comes to Chad Henne coming in the game for Patrick Mahomes, okay? He's just a leader. He's just a veteran. 37 years old. He spent a lot of time in the NFL. When we need him to come in and do some things for us, he can deliver. He's proven it multiple times in the postseason that he knows how to get it done. So Chad Henne deserves a huge round of applause. This dude, stellar. I love Chad Henne. So with that out of the way, let's talk about this game. Okay, Chiefs took the victory pretty much like everybody expected, frankly. But it was tough. Okay, it was tough. Unfortunately, Patrick Mahomes got hurt, and it just it seems like, of course Patrick Mahomes would get hurt during the postseason. It seems like perfect timing, right? Just extremely unfortunate. It wasn't a dirty play by the Jacksonville defender. Just falling backwards, couldn't necessarily control what he was doing, ended up landing on Patrick Mahomes' ankle, and sometimes that's just how football is. It's a dangerous sport. Things like that happen. Just the pure will and determination by Patrick Mahomes to want to get back in the game after suffering an injury like that. I mean, every time they showed a sideline shot, Patrick Mahomes was livid. I mean, he was angry. And one thing I do want to say is I want to applaud the Chiefs trainers for being smart in that situation and saying, hey, Patrick Mahomes, we know that having you on the field is going to give us the best shot at winning the game. But unfortunately, we got to get this checked out. This is a $500 million investment by the Kansas City Chiefs. That alone is enough for them to want to be like, hey, let's make sure everything's okay with Patrick Mahomes. Let's not risk anything. On top of that, this guy, Patrick Mahomes, is the best quarterback in the NFL. He is the reason we are where we are. He is the identity of this team, okay? So let's not risk anything that could potentially further injure him. That could end up, putting him out maybe, for, the conference championship or maybe even the Super Bowl. That's something that we need to think about and potentially, next season. Because these sort of injuries tend to linger around for quite a while. So if something were to happen that would re-aggravate this ankle, we could be in for a lot of trouble. So I think that the training staff did a very good job at, taking Patrick Mahomes out of the game, putting him on, giving him the scans, even though Patrick Mahomes clearly was not in favor of that. We saw it. Patrick Mahomes was livid. He was mad. He was angry, okay? But shout out to the training staff for doing what they needed to do. They went to him and they said, we're not putting you back in the game unless you get your ankle checked out, okay? So, and once Patrick Mahomes heard that, yeah, he was upset, but boom, he was eager and ready to go get that ankle checked out, which good job by the Chiefs training staff, pretty solid. The decision to put him back on the field in the second half was, one that I wasn't necessarily in full support of, okay? Chad Henne, in the one drive that he was, the starting quarterback on the Chiefs, he did fantastic, okay? That 98-yard touchdown drive, I mean, who would have thought? I mean, who would have expected Chad Henne to do that for the Chiefs, okay? I mean, he did everything we could possibly ask him to do. So after something like that, why not keep him in the game and see if we can, win this thing with Chad Henne in the game and not risk Patrick Mahomes' injury, to get worse. Honestly, that's kind of what I was in favor of. Because Chad Henne, he was playing great, so let's just keep him on the field until, maybe until we get tied up, if that were to even happen. And then at that point, Patrick Mahomes can re-enter the game. Because it is a playoff game at the end of the day. I'm a Chiefs fan. I want the Chiefs to win. And I know that even Patrick Mahomes without his right ankle is, a more suitable option than Chad Henne. So it was a tough situation. But the Chiefs did decide to put Patrick Mahomes on the field, and you could see him struggle. you could really see him struggle throughout the entire second half. And even after he threw that touchdown pass, he had a hard time getting off the field. He had to be helped up by his teammates, and that's just not something I want to see. It's really not. But it shows you, man. It shows you this guy, Patrick Mahomes, is a freaking dog. This guy, he just put the team on his back. He doesn't even care. He doesn't care whether or not he's hurt. And that's the thing about Patrick Mahomes. It's the playoffs, Typically when you're running for these first downs, Patrick Mahomes will prioritize his health over almost anything. So, he'll take a slide. He'll settle for a 4th and 1. But, if it's 3rd and 5 and if he sees an opening, he is going to dive. He's going to do everything in his power to get that first down, regardless of whether or not he's hurt. We saw it. We saw him do it. It wasn't pretty, but we saw him do it. So it makes me a little worried about next week against the Bengals. It does. But at the end of the day, I can't say that Chad Henne gives us a better shot. Patrick Mahomes with a slightly injured right ankle is a lot better than Chad Henne, I'll be honest. But still, not to discredit Chad Henne, he played a great game. Another guy who really had a great game, particularly in that drive with Chad Henne and a quarterback. How about Isaiah Pacheco? Okay, what a game by him. This dude is just a hard runner. I have a lot of respect for Isaiah Pacheco. I'm really, really happy about what the future holds with Isaiah Pacheco. I think he might end up being, it's pretty shocking to even say this, a 7th round guy. But I think he's going to end up being, the best running back we've had since, Kareem Hunt, honestly. Maybe even better, potentially even better. I think he could be an 1,000-yard guy next season. I think he is definitely our 1st down, 2nd down running back, and then maybe Jerick McKinnon gets mixed in there. I'm feeling pretty good about our running back room heading into these next few weeks of football. So feeling really good about that. Isaiah Pacheco had a great game, and he really kept that drive going. That big 40-yard run, just getting us down inside the 10. That was a great run by Isaiah Pacheco. He's just a baller. This dude is just an absolute baller. One thing I noticed about him, too, is when you see Isaiah Pacheco run the ball, it could be a 2-yard run, it could be a 10-yard run, it could be a freaking 40-yard run like it was, in that game against the Jaguars. But the second that he gets tackled, he pops right back up. He's ready to go. If I ever saw Isaiah Pacheco, lay on the ground after getting tackled for, more than, 3 seconds, I would think he was injured. Because this dude, every single time he gets the football in his hands and gets tackled, boop, right back up. He's just whoa, ready to go. You love it. You love it about him, He's ready to go. He's a baller. He's a player. He just knows how to get things done. He's got that energy that we need on this Chiefs offense, really. And particularly in that drive, we needed energy. When Patrick Mahomes isn't on the field, I feel like a lot of players get a little bit demoralized. They're like, what is this team? Who is this team anymore? It's just like our identity is kind of lost. But Isaiah Pacheco brought the energy. He brought that offense back to life after Patrick Mahomes was on the sideline. So this win is in large part credited to Isaiah Pacheco. So got to give him a big shout out. So that's about all I got. Shout out to the Jaguars on a great season. Shout out to the Jaguars for taking out the Chargers in the 1st round, because I think the Chargers probably would have put up a better fight than the Jaguars. So shout out to you shout out to you Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence looking good, had a great season. Maybe they could be something a little bit better next year. We'll see. Still not better than the Chiefs, but we'll see. So yeah, shout out to you guys. Jaguars, great season. And we're moving on. Chiefs heading to the AFC Championship. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next Chiefs chat. Peace out.